adopt that.
So thank you so much for joining this conversation. And I'm really excited about having this conversation with you specifically because you have been my teacher, my mentor, my coach, my friend, so many things. We've related on so many levels, but underlying all those levels was a theme of transformation. You've been a huge impact in my life, in my journey of transformation, which then has become my purpose and my goal in life, to help people in this journey, to dive deeper in this journey myself and to learn from it. And so I'm here with you having this conversation about how to take advantage of this energy. And I just want to tell my viewers.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I want to tell my viewers a little bit about you, because what is this that makes you so phenomenal, according to me, at least? One is that you are a pioneer of coaching in this country. So when anyone Googles life coaching in Kenya, they'll find you, they'll find Destiny Life Coaching, they'll find your work, they'll find your interviews, they'll find your courses, they'll find your clients. So it's like you began this journey for us as a country of transformation. And then you have churned out a huge number of phenomenal coaches. And that's really a legacy, and a legacy I want to celebrate. And I just want to say thank you to you for saying yes to your dream. Because a lot of people here, I see you, I see some of our students, I see Scholar, Muzuri Sana, you know, one of our best students in one of those classes.
Yeah.
Mwangi Edward, welcome and thank you so much for joining. And call your friends, call your relatives, call your enemies. This is a phenomenal conversation. So thank you, Jeff, and I just want to honor you even before we start this conversation and to say thank you for joining and thank you for being you and thank you for all the impact that you have had on so many lives. Finally, welcome.
And wow, thank you so much. That's amazing. I'm so honored to be here. It's really a privilege and a huge opportunity. Even as I see you, your progress, your growth, I mean, you are a star. And your hand has touched so many souls. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm happy to share this platform with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So this conversation has 3 words that I've actually, somebody has typed them for us there. And it's reevaluate, realign, and recreate. The main essence of this conversation is we want to tap into the energy of endings and beginnings. And as I was telling the guys who are online and those who are going to watch in the future, so I'm speaking to the future also. Yeah. So I was saying that when there's a season and a lot of people are in a certain energy, if you tap into that energy of that season, it can work for you faster than if you're the only one in a certain small season alone. So in this season, people are winding up things and people are planning to begin things. So that energy is like in the consciousness of humanity that, you know, this is a ending of a year and a beginning is coming. So you can tap into that energy for your own self, for your own growth, for your own transformation. And the way that I wanted us to have this conversation is to like break it into 3 parts: reevaluation, realignment, and recreation. And somebody was kind enough to type there for us. Sarah, I believe. Thank you so much. So if you're joining us right now, the 3 words are reevaluate, realign, and recreate. So I'm going to start with reevaluate. So I'll start with a definition, and then Jeff, you can tell me what you think about it in relation to 2022 and what is it that we are reevaluating. So evaluate, according to the dictionary, is judge or calculate the quality or importance or value of something. So judge or calculate the quality, importance, or value of something. So we are thinking about 2022 right now. So what is it that you can judge the quality of, the importance of, the value of, as far as 2022 is concerned?
Wow, awesome, awesome. And you know, is I like to share my own personal.
Mm-hmm. You've disappeared. Guys, if I'm there, please drop a like or an emoji so I can see that you can see me, because I can see Jeff is hanging. I don't know if I am too. Can you guys see me, or are we both lost? Hello, hello. Hi guys, can you see me? I don't know what happened because I can't see Jeff, and I'm not sure if I can be seen myself. So please let me know. Oh, good. You're seeing me. Okay. So the question that I put out to Jeff, and maybe you can answer for yourself, and maybe you can write it down somewhere or you can contemplate. So evaluation basically is judging or calculating the quality of, the importance of, or the value of something. So thank you, Rose. Thank you, Lucy. Welcome, Caroline. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Mary. It's a pleasure to have you on here. So as far as 2022 is concerned, what is the quality of your experiences? What is the importance of the stuff that you acquired or achieved? What is the value of the experiences that you had? That is what evaluating is. So it's not just jumping into 2022 without any retrospection, without any looking back, but then it's not also just looking back and thinking, you know, oh, Jeff is back. Let's see whether we can bring you back on. Yeah, so it's really looking back and looking at what is the quality, what is the importance of those things, and what is the value of your experiences. So Jeff, I was putting out the same question to the viewers.
Look at
Yeah,
my
so
village. Look at my
now you're
village areas now. They are not going to prosper. Okay, shoot, Carol.
oh my gosh, but
Yeah,
we have great support here in
yeah,
this viewer and in so many other spheres. So
that's
yeah,
right.
so you can answer me now. You're back and the network is much better.
Yes, it is. I changed the network. So evaluation, looking at
Yeah.
2022. So one thing about me, Caro, is I don't set 1 year resolution. So usually I set 10 years resolutions, and there's a reason for that. I got so disappointed with 1 year resolutions because every time as you evaluate at the end of the year, I used to feel I've not reached my dream. And
Yeah.
my dream was a little bit bigger than I was able to do. So at some point, Caro, I got tired of getting disappointed. So I began this
Yeah.
system of setting 10-year goals and visions that I can evaluate every end of the year. So the end of the year is like a reminder for me, how far are you to this 10-year vision? Yeah. And I realized, you know, I was not alone. There are so many people that find it a challenge to meet all their goals, and then it works on your self-esteem as a person. Every year you feel, no, I didn't reach this, so it defines me as a person that doesn't reach out for what unconsciously. This is unconsciously. Every time you set a goal and don't meet it unconsciously, your second mind, the subconscious mind, actually makes a suggestion that that's the identity, that's the person you are. So for me, I sort of moved away from that. And so this season, collectively, as everyone goes to evaluate, I'm looking at this 10-year goals and looking at how far I am. Some of them are just, you know, 10 years gives you a space for you to readjust and say, I can get this goal by going this way. There's another shortcut here and there. So it's about looking at those business goals, looking at those money goals, financial goals, health goals, spiritual goals. And I think right now, Carol, where I am now, given, you know, 10 years, you can see my gray hair is coming.
It's becoming grayer.
It's becoming more abundant. So 10 years give me that space to evaluate, to look at, is this something that adds so much value to me? Do I look at it the way I looked at it 2 years ago? Is it the same thing? Or has it changed, you know? And I have no problem in readjusting, changing my goal.
So thank you so much for that new perspective. I don't know, some of you guys are here watching. Thanks, Sisin Katha, for joining us. Please tell us, do you have 10-year goals? Do you have 5-year goals? Do you have 1-year goals? Do you have goals at all? And, you know, just tell us on the comments, just post there. It's good that we move together so that at least, you know, the more you participate, the more value you get from this conversation as well. It's a conversation between me and Jeff, but we want to include you and involve you as much as possible so that you can also get some new perspectives and maybe transformation can be catalyzed in your life. So for me, I'm one of those that don't have 10-year goals, by the way. I'm one of those that have not had goals at all. And the experience for me has been, and you know, I'm doing this conversation very vulnerably. I'm going out because this is part of one of the newest goals that I had towards the end of the year, that to expand my capacity to be vulnerable. Because if I'm willing and ready to go into the spaces that I'm feeling a little bit of shame or insecurity about, then I can grow. So what has happened is, because of not having any goals at all, I have been in situations where it's a bit confusing. You see, goals are like a North Star, like that star that they were following to go and find where Jesus has been born. If they didn't have that star, they would have gotten lost. So for me, at some point, without a North Star, I get to a place where I'm like, okay, does this work for me or does it not? Is it important or is it not? Because without a North Star, you're not able to sieve the wheat from the chaff, right? Because some things are important and you give some things time and energy because you are relating them to something, to a goal. If you don't have that goal, then everything is available for you. And so now you can just do it based on what's popular, or, you know, what so-and-so is expecting of you, or what seems like it's you know, it feels good. especially that, whatever feels good at that time. And sometimes it's not serving you. So the reason why I'm having this conversation is because I have suffered the consequences of not having goals. And so I'm speaking from a place of, I think this is a time for me to change. I think this is part of growing up, and part of the growing up that I did not do. Some of us grow up when we are 40. Hello.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we are like sort of absconding personal responsibility for one reason or another, you know?
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
would be you. I don't want you to be ashamed about it, you know? Shame doesn't take you anywhere. If shame is to serve you, it's just to tell you, hey, do something about that thing, you know?
That's right.
So for
Yeah.
me, I've reached 40. This is the year that I turned 40. And this is the year that I realized it's important to have these goals,
Nice.
because I have noticed the last few months that I've had goals. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The last few months that I've had goals have allowed me to go beyond my comfort zone. As I reach for
Mm-hmm.
that goal, I
Mm-hmm.
expand. As I reach for
Yeah.
that goal, I stretch. And I'm able to be with discomfort because there's something I'm looking at that is keeping my focus there. Because when you don't have a goal, when it gets uncomfortable, you pull back and you look for something that's here that doesn't
Yeah.
require you to stretch at all.
That's
You
fine.
know? So for me, my reevaluation is I'm reevaluating, I am calculating the quality of
Yeah.
my life without goals, and I'm thinking
Mm.
the quality was low. I am
Yeah.
calculating the importance of having a goal, and I think it's up here, you know?
Mm.
And
Mm. Mm.
I'm checking the value of goals in your life. We think we achieve goals, but goals, this is what I'm realizing now in the last 2 months, goals shape you. Goals
Yeah.
are like your coaches or like your personal trainer in the gym. They are shaping
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
refusing to have a goal in life, refusing to create a plan for your life or a vision that you can pursue is like refusing to sign up a personal trainer, but you want abs.
Yes.
So you can do
Yes.
your thing, but you won't get those abs. Ama you'll get
Mm.
a misshaped body because you're
Mm.
doing the wrong exercise at the wrong time. So
And
that's
that's true,
my
Caro.
experience.
If I can add there, Coach Caro,
Yeah.
the thing is, goals are not as important as you and what you become in the process of the goal setting. As it's not
Yes.
about the goal. It's not
Yeah.
about the goal. When you set a goal, let's say you have a goal, let's even pick money. The goal of having invested 1 million Kenya shillings. You
Yeah.
know, when I talk to my clients, that's like one of the common goals is for them to invest 1M that can give them some monthly income so they don't have to work and get paid for every sweat. Everything that you work for comes from your blood. Okay?
Yeah.
Every money that comes from you, you must work for it. And so let's say that
Yeah.
goal, the goal of, let's say you've invested 1 million, that makes you a millionaire. It's an identity thing. It's not about the money. It's about, if I can make a million, I can make two, I can make five, I can make 10 because I'm a millionaire. A millionaire. So it's an identity we're looking for here. It's not really the goal itself of getting the money and all that. The goal
Yeah.
of, having some spiritual experience, it's about who
Mm.
you become.
Mm.
So the goals are like facilitators. Don't worship them. You don't look at them as, I must crash it, and then, that's crashing it is what defines me. Now you define yourself, then you crash it. So begin from a
Yeah.
place of identity and say, okay, this is who I want to be. This is who I am, because in the spiritual realm, you're already that person you envision to be. In the
Yeah.
spiritual world, you're already that person. So I like
Mm.
to come from place of identity. This identity that I'm not yet there, but I believe I am. I
Mm.
am. I am, and that's the name of God. I am is the name of God. Once you step into I am and say, I am a millionaire,
Yes.
then you can see that. Then you set a goal that takes you there. Once you hit a goal, the I amness is confirmed. The identity is confirmed. And it's like God is putting a seal of approval that this is who you are. It's like a game here we are playing with God, and you set the goal. You're already that person you want to become. But then you begin from that place of faith, seeing yourself as that person. Then you set the goal, say, I want to do this, I crush this. Once you do it, God is like, that's my girl, that's my man, I got you, that's who you are. And so it's like, Carol,
Yeah.
we are really creating our destiny through God's setting. But from a place, for me, I'm learning to create from a place of soul, from a place of spirit, from a place of where God lives in that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Someone was calling me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, from a place of soul, you were saying.
Sorry about that. Someone was calling. Yeah, so we are creating from a place of your soul. Once you create from there, one of the things that you deal with is the enemies of your progress, the enemies of your destiny, fear. I see them as there are four. There are four I can name right now. There are four I can expose. Number one is fear, especially the fear that you don't deserve to create this magnificent life that you imagine. Fear is a killer of destiny. Fear is a killer of possibility. And so when you create from spirit, when you create from that place of awareness of who you are as a child of God, someone that really anchors, that awareness of being one with God, you can create anything. So you deal with fear, you deal with worry. You're not worried. You don't want to create from a place of hustler, the hustler mindset, where you're struggling to your death. You're pulling you're almost stepping on your tongue because your life is a struggle. I don't want that. I want to enjoy every moment of the process. I want to enjoy every day. I want, even though I said that God that is so huge and so big, I don't want to wait to be happy 10 years from today. I want to be happy in the process. Okay, so once you create from that place, you deal with anxiety, you deal with fear, you deal with worry, you deal with overcaution. Because if you create from that place of overcaution, fear, and worry, then you're not enjoying it. You're telling yourself that when I get this goal, I will be happy. When I get married, I'll be happy. When I make the 10 million, I'll be happy. When I get this, I'll be happy. No. It's either you are a happy person right now, and that's a decision. You decide life is too short to suffer. I am a happy person right now, this moment. Then you can create from that place.
Awesome. I love everything you're saying. I just love everything you're saying. I want to acknowledge some people who've joined before I put in some few words in there. Nims Jerry, thank you so much for joining. Grace, thank you for joining. Wangare Mwangi, karibu sana. Paul Muhia from Mageshagi, welcome. Nguka Ojwang is one of ours. Cindy Jeff, he's one of our good ones.
Hi,
Welcome for watching. Mary Gashiko, thank you so much for watching. That's my homie right there. Thank you guys, and I want you to just post in the comments just one sentence about what you're learning from the conversation so far, like what has hit home for you so far. So Jeff, you were talking, Steve Wonder, thank you so much for joining. Karibu. Just one statement of something that you've learned so far from what Jeff has said. Jeff, you were talking about happiness and being happy now. And I think a lot of people have that mindset that you're talking about, that I have this goal and I'll be happy when I achieve it. Before I achieve it, as I'm striving for it, I am worried, I am fearful, I am anxious, all those. And I just want to throw in something there that might shift their mindset a little bit. Now, based on what we were speaking about before, about the real purpose of goals, the real purpose of goals is to shape us, is to transform us into who we really are. Remember, we are living in unconsciousness. It's like we are sleepwalking. We are not awake to who we really are. So we don't think we are abundant. We think we are poor. And that's why the Bible, I think, says, let the rich say I am, let the poor say I am rich. Let the weak say I am strong. What brings you happiness in the process is understanding that it is already happening. Your goal, as soon as you say yes to your goal, that's a win. As soon as you take one action towards your goal, that's a win. The goal is not the win. The win is that mindset that you have to overcome to achieve your goal. So imagine, let me give you an example. So I had this brilliant idea. I am in the coaching field and I am connected to so many coaches. And I realized that not everything works for everyone. So for some people, they don't want to talk when they have a challenge. They don't want to talk when they're going through something because some of them are body-based, so they'd rather walk it out or work it out in the gym or whatever. People are different. And as I was going around doing my coaching and transformation work, I met so many practitioners doing very many things. And I thought, wow, what if people knew there was a buffet of things that they could go to help them catalyze their transformation, not necessarily just coaching. They could go to an aromatherapist, they could go to a hypnotherapist, they could go to a counselor, they could go to, you know, all these pranic healer, they could go to all these people. And in my head, I thought I would love to share this with Kenyans especially and tell them there's so many things that they can do in their journey of personal development, because we cannot expect a cookie cutter perspective where one thing works for everyone. So what did I do? I decided I was going to create a TV show that highlights all these therapies and all these modalities. But guess what? I didn't have any money, and I have been in communication for years. I have been in production for years. I know the kind of budgets TV stations and people who are creating content have to use, what resources are required for a whole season. So a whole season is 13 episodes. So that was the first thing. I was like, I don't have money. And I realized that could have stopped me. And if I told somebody that, it was a valid reason. How many of us have decided that we don't have money to do something that we desire, and we have talked to our friends and they validated our excuse? Because I would call it an excuse. But then because I was so driven by this goal, I was so, it had to happen. For me, it had to happen. And that's the other thing. Your goal has to be a have to. It's not a maybe, it's not a I could. It has to be I have to. Somehow, like someone else's life depends on it, or your child's life depends on it, or your mother's life depends, like it has to be a have to. So you're the one to make it a have to. So what happened is, I told myself, well, it's true that I don't have money. That was the truth. So I'm not going to lie to myself that I have money. I'm going to tell myself the truth and then move on. So what next? And so I challenged myself and I said, how can I do it without money? Because it has to be done. Yeah. And what happened is, when I decided that I have to do it and it has to be done, then things started showing up. People started showing up in my life. Somebody posted in a group, hi, my name is so and so. I'm a content, I'm in love with content. I look for content and I produce it. The reason why that particular message hit me is because I had made that goal. So if I had not committed to that goal, that introduction would just have passed and I would have scrolled it past it. So I saw it and I said, hi, my name is Carol and I have this idea. Can we have coffee? So I went, had coffee with this girl, and as history would have it, the show is on YouTube. It's called Being Me. And so everything that I did for that show, I did not spend any money. Guys, I did not spend any money. My makeup, my location, the people, the transport, the equipment, the editing, no cash. So what I'm trying to tell you is I had to go past my own limitations, not limitations outside, because limitations outside do not exist. They do not exist. There is no limit beyond this body. There is no limit. The only limit is in your mind. And so the importance of celebrating these small actions that you're doing is actually celebrating the you that you're becoming every minute as you pursue that goal. As you say yes to this goal, you become a new version of you. I see a lot of people saying, I want to be the best version of me. Who wants to be the best version of yourself? Say yes in the comments. It happens like that. You don't wake up as the best version of yourself. It starts with every decision that you make as you head towards your goal. And that's why you need to be joyful, because you have an understanding of what's happening. There is a process that's happening. And that process is what excites you, is what gives you joy. Even if what you have to do in front of you is not exciting or is tough or is uncomfortable, there is still joy in knowing what is really happening behind the scenes. And so, yeah, that's my story. And that's why
really
I want to get
amazing.
back to setting goals.
Wow. Carol, that's amazing. That's amazing. And, with your permission, allow me to share something there. One is, why your story and so many other stories of work is because of where you're creating from. Okay. So, first of all, you want to ask yourself this question: the inner conflict, what you're hearing inside of you, is it a story or is it the truth? So you differentiate between, okay, I don't have money, is it true? Is this true? I don't have money, is it true? And is it true on which realm of existence? And what realm of existence are you choosing? Because it's true in the 3D, but are you a 3D person? Are you a person that is limited to this 3D? You just see things that exist. Is that who you are?
I'm saying
then
so let me interrupt a little bit.
Yeah.
When you don't have money, because a lot of people might not understand what 3D is when you say you don't have money, most of the time you're talking about your bank account, your M-Pesa, your wallet.
Yeah.
But is that the only money that is yours? All the money in the world is yours. It's just being held by other people.
And most of the time is held by the perspective through which you are looking at life. You can look at the different perspectives that people look at life, and that sort of defines your energy. It's like energetic vibration. Look at it like radio, frequency. So there's a frequency you tune into that is really dense, and you can feel your soul was not created for that. Your soul was not created for the dense frequency of seeing life from the eyes of the car, the house, the whatever things that we can see. No, you start there, you will struggle. I'm telling you, you want to start from the truth of who you are, from the truth of the soul, who you are. Those things already exist. Immediately you thought itself, when you think something, it has energy. Thoughts have energy. So when you're thinking something, that thing already exists. That's why the Bible says, whatever you imagine, whatever you're thinking about, already God has given it to you. So when you're going through prayer, you're not begging God or forcing God. The moment is in your heart, it's yours. But don't be the one that stops it from manifesting now in the physical realm, in the world of reality of this, the here and the now, what we call the 3 dimensions, or the perspective of the 3 dimensions. The other thing is, guys, all of us have got what we call the reticular activating system. And this is a part of us in your way. It's very interesting. It directs you to notice what is important to you. And you focus on that. What is important is you to decide what the quality of your reticular activating system is, the key decider of your destiny. Because if problems are important to you, your RAS will always point you to problems. If pain is important to you, RAS points you to pain. If scarcity is important to you, you publish a book on how to be scarce in 3 days without faith. You will, go that way. But if you make abundance, the focus of your life, and it's a decision away, just say, no, life is too short to suffer. You see yourself as an abundant person. Focus on that. Even if you don't, please pretend you're abundant. It will come.
See, if you don't feel it, then look for it in others.
It will come because, Carol, if you say, I give this example.
You disappeared again as you are giving the example.
Yeah. This week, there's this very, 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 let me just state it, is an example of how these things happen. So I give a homework to my student who feels they are not enough, who feels they are nobody because the world has told them that story and they have come to believe it in their psyche. So I tell them, okay, we didn't have time to meet them. So I just told them, this week, I want you to pretend. I want you to pretend you're the most abundant person. Pretend. Just pretend. How does that look like play out in your life? So first of all, I took them through a visualization exercise where they can see, because I wanted to know, can they do this on their own? That was the breakthrough for that sister, because the pretense, right now, Carol, people who are pretending they are poor. The pretend is something we've already been doing. We are master pretense. Some of us are pretending we are small while we are these giants sitting on greatness. Some of us are pretending that we are nobodies while our names were, we were created for riches and wealth and influence. But now we are pretending. We are pretending we are nobodies, and we bought that story. So it's very easy for you to use the same strategy. It's called the pretend strategy. Now pretend to be abundant. Pretend that you are that person that is created in the image and likeness of God, that things are working for you. Watch the universe arrange things for you to meet the right client who pays you the right money at the right time. And very soon, you realize what you are pretending to be, you are, because you've been this all your life.
Exactly. And I love that because it brings us to the second word that I put out there, realign. Thank you, Anastasia, for joining. If you're still there, please say something. Say following, right? Following, or I'm with you, or something that you have learned so far. And Jeff has exited the building. I think he did that by mistake. But please, right there, if you're learning something. And the next word is realign. So far for reevaluate, I want you to think or write somewhere, what is it that you need to put as most important for you? You know what Jeff has said is very powerful, that what you think is important for you, you keep seeing it. If stress is important for you, you keep seeing stress. If drama is important for you, you keep seeing drama. If scarcity is important for you, you keep seeing it. And how do you know that it's important? Look at what you keep consuming. Your eyes, with your mind. What is it that piques your interest? So when you're scrolling on Facebook, what is the kind of stuff? What is the energy? What is the vibe of the stuff that you are attracted to? That is what is subconsciously important to you. And so now we come to the second word, which is align. And the reason why I said realign, reevaluate, recreate is because you have been evaluating, but I want you to evaluate again differently. You have been aligning, but I want you to align again differently. That's why it's realign, reevaluate, and recreate. So the definition for the word align is bring into proper coordination or proper agreement, or arrange according to proper position in relation to something else. So at the beginning, we talked about a goal. And right now we've ended, the last sentence that Jeff talked about was about importance, what you hold importance. So alignment is about arranging things in proper position in relation to your goal. So for example, if I have a whole day of planning, so I have 24 hours, and I have a deadline for tomorrow, if I am properly aligned, the bulk of my day today will be stuff that will help me meet the deadline for tomorrow, not the deadline for next week. So a lot of us are not aligned because, one, we don't have a goal, or we have a goal that is not from our soul. It's not a goal that has our essence in it. It's a goal of I must, or so and so expects me to do. And so what happens when it comes to aligning yourself or arranging your priorities, how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, who you spend your time with, you do not arrange that in order of the correct position according to the goal that you're going to achieve. So alignment is about, have you been holding importance things that are leading you to your goal, things that are leading you to where you want to go, things that are helping you embody the energy that will help you achieve your goal. A lot of the times when we talk about alignment, it's like what you are talking about, Jeff, radio stations, frequency. And alignment happens in that level first, in the level of if this is my goal, I want to be a millionaire, how is my inside world? How is my inside world? Have I tuned it in a way that will get me to get there, or have I tuned it in a way that gets me to go lower? It's like when you want to listen to a certain radio station and you don't know the frequency, sometimes you know the sound. So you know how Capital sounds like, you know how Kiss sounds like, you know how Classic sounds like, but you might not know the frequency. So as you're tuning the radio, you're listening and you're like, sio hiyo. Because sometimes unatune, unasikia Bwana asifiwe, unajua hiyo sio Classic, unatune tena, you know? There is a way ingine unatune, unasikia hawa wanaongea lugha gani, hiyo sio Kizungu, huko sio Classic. You know what I mean, yeah? So how are you doing that with yourself? How are you tuning yourself so that you can align yourself to the life that you want to create? And for me, my experience in alignment has been very, very basic, and even without a goal, alignment has somehow helped me. Because let's say, for example, my dream car is a BMW X1. I love that car. I can see it in my head. I envision it. Some people have dreamt with me in it, you know, and so I know it's there. But the reason why I want that car is because I can imagine how I will feel driving it. Yeah. I can imagine how it will feel to be the owner of that car, like it's parked in a parking lot and people are saying, ndio hii gari ya Karo, or, you know, Karo amekam, you know, in reference to my car. I can imagine that. And so I know that to create that, every day, I must feel like that. I must feel like I'm the owner of that car, even if it hasn't manifested physically. I'm talking about the emotional level, the thinking level. I must feel the way the owner of that car has felt. So the reason why I'm saying aligning has helped me to a certain extent, it's because I know the sound of the most, I know the feeling, the sound of the most abundant version of me. I know it.
Yeah.
And so it's on that platform that I have been saying yes to things and saying no to things because they don't feel like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Perfect sense. That is how we win. That's how we overcome. That's how we get the trophy. You win in the world within. It's nothing that you see outside of you, is the way to win. Feeling is a currency. So when you can feel it, you already have it.
Yeah.
You already have it, and that's where your heart is. That's where your heart is. From that place of your heart, that's where the manifestation is happening. And so it's always good. Your responsibility is to guard your heart above everything else, because from your heart, the Bible says, the treasures of life. Whatever it is, you're feeling most of the time. Like, you can't feel all the time you're feeling bad and then expect, something, a miracle bus will hit you and you have everything you need. No. Look, we're talking about 2023 here, and, evaluating, realigning the way you're feeling in 7 days a week. That is what you're becoming. That is what you're attracting into your life. So make sure you feel good. When God created the world, He looked at it and said, it is good. It is good. So when you're in your perfect will of alignment, because at that place, God was
You've disappeared.
People are calling me. People are calling me on my phone. It is good. Let's continue. It is good. So God looks at everything from that place of it is good. That is your victory. That you should. Let me tell you this. I feel like standing. It's only okay. Let me tell you this. Do anything. Do anything to make sure that you feel good as much as possible. When you do that, when you feel good consistently, your destiny is created from that place of feeling good. You're going to find you're having this synchronicity where people who feel good are becoming your friends. We call them HQP, high quality people. They're high quality people. You spend time with them, you just feel like you've caught some fire. You just feel like, oh my God, I want to meet you tomorrow. Those people are not many. There are people you're meeting at the corner, you want to take the next corner. That come into your life, Caro, and God forbid, and you just see darkness developing. Shinwe.
Oh my God.
Do anything. What is it that makes you feel good? What is it that makes you feel good? Do it. Whether it's music, whether it's spending time with these people, but visualization is a key one, because you want to feel, you don't want to give away your power. You don't want to say, I only feel good when I connect with Jeff. And when Jeff is not available, so I become your God in that I carry your goodness. No. My philosophy has always been, take back your power as soon as possible, as much as possible. And when you're feeling good depends on having something or being with someone, you're giving away your power. If you can feel good with yourself, you can feel good with yourself on the mirror, you are good. You are a master. That's what I define as a master. If you can feel good. So sustain it. Make make it longer, make it go for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now, graduate to the place where you can be going through the storm and you're still smiling. You're feeling
I'm telling you.
good. You're feeling good. That's what is called mastery. So that, you know, there are people you will know when hell has broken loose in their life. You're like, oh, what's wrong, Carol? What's wrong? And you will know when they got money, because environment determines how they feel. There's another group of people that have this identity of feeling good because they have mastered, they have taken it to level of mastery. They can feel good even when, like Jesus, you are on the boat, you know, storm everywhere, and you're sound asleep. Mastery is the goal of life. Let's go for it. And so if you're realigning your emotions, what Coach Caro is talking about, prioritize emotions, prioritize thoughts, because the inner thought is, the inner world is a world of thought and the world of emotions. Those are the two worlds we are changing here. Once you shift that, everything else will be given to you.
Exactly. And I think it takes a lot of commitment. From my own experience, you have to be committed to a certain emotional state, because you know that that is the clay that you're using to mold your life with. And you must curate your life around this emotional state. You protect it and you make decisions from it, and you create your life from it very consciously. So what I've noticed is when you're very unconscious about the impact of your emotional state in the quality of your life, what usually happens is that you're easily carried away. And because the mind is a meaning-making machine. The mind is a meaning-making machine, and it is committed to the emotional state that you spend your time in. So what happens is, if you're in this state of anxiety, depression, stress, anger, hatred, bitterness, if that's where you spend most of your time, your mind is committed to creating and expanding that territory. So what happens that no matter what happens in your life, the meaning that you make of it will get you to that state deeper and deeper. So even if it's something that's happening to you that is good and positive, you're going to find a negative way to look at it. Even if you're the most blessed among the blessed, then you will automatically find something negative about your situation. But if you're committed to higher emotional states, that, you know, and how I tell my clients to decide which emotional states are important, I get them to visualize their dream. And as they're in that visualization and as they're feeling as if they're in living their dream, I ask them, what are the emotions they are feeling? And they come back with a set of emotions. And I tell them, now, these emotions are the emotions you should commit to. And whatever happens in your life, interpret that event in a way that will get you to these emotions. So when, for example, I talk to people about my encounter with depression, right now when I talk about it, it gives me a lot of enthusiasm and purpose, because that's how I interpret it. Because my goal is to get to a place of enthusiasm, of purpose, of mission, of service, you know, of love, of joy. That's my emotional state that I've committed to. And if you know me, you know that I have a positive interpretation for every negative thing that happen. And that's why I'm alive today. And that's why I'm alive in 2022, because I have been able to use every experience that has come to me for my own good, to elevate me as a staircase up. And I'm not gonna allow anything to pull me down. Why? Because I am committed to creating a life that feels a certain way. So have you ever thought about it? If you're watching and that has never occurred to me, tell me. This is a new thought for you. This is a new perspective for you. As we wait for Jeff to come back, I think he's dropped off. Yes, he has. So welcome, Norman Black. I see you. Welcome, Wanjiro. Thank you for joining the conversation. Thanks, Hazel Ann, for joining. So have you ever thought that the one thing that you need to commit to is some emotional states? If you have this figured out, if you're committed to this, if you're committed to high level emotional states, then I'm 100% certain that you will achieve your goal. Most of you are not achieving your goals because you're waiting for a miracle. The miracle that you're waiting for is your own commitment to your emotional states. That's the miracle that you're waiting for. And you're a miracle worker because you can create that miracle. You can choose an emotional state and say, this is how I decide my life feels like. And it doesn't matter what anyone in your life does, and it doesn't matter what happens to the economy, it doesn't matter what happens to the world, even if it's ending right now. If you have committed to a certain emotional state, then you know what you will have to do? You have to keep transforming your mind, because that mind that is making meaning out of things, you have to master it, and you have to tell it what to create, not the other way around. Because sometimes our mind becomes our master. And I hear a lot of people saying, like in relationships, yeah, he left me, so obviously I wasn't gonna be happy about that. See, that's a limitation that you have to overcome, because you have told yourself that there is an automatic reaction to this particular event, or an event that looks like this. Yeah, there is no automatic. You can decide what is your response. And we are not saying that you're not going to encounter negative things and bad feelings and all this. They are there. But what is important is, how do you interpret this? Sometimes, because I'm not telling you to bypass. Even the negative events are important for us. All the negative emotions are important for us because they move us to action. If you're angry about something, do not bypass it. Don't pretend that you're not angry, but use that opportunity to see what boundary has been crossed and what conversation do I need to have, or what do I need to do about the situation. You see, that's more empowering than sitting and saying, oh my God, they made me angry and blah, blah, blah. You're not a victim. You're the creator of your life. And whatever you create, you need to find how it is good for you, because you're like God. Whatever you create, it is good. It is good for your progression. It is good for the becoming of you, because that's what the whole of this life is. And you see, Jeff, there's something that occurred to me in the course of 2022 that I'll never let go of. So there's this goal that we have. We can have 5-year goals, but then when you think about your life in its fullness, what is it for? A lot of people don't ask, what am I doing with my life? Yeah, because it's a gift that I've been given. What am I using it for? A lot of people are using their life for satisfaction of their senses. And so those are people who will go all out for sensual pleasure, whatever that may be. There are others who are saying, I will use my life in service of others. And so everything about their life is about serving others. There are others who are saying, I'm using my life for whatever it is. And then there are those that are saying, I'm using my life for my spiritual advancement, to come into the awareness of who I am and to get that expression in this body, like what Jesus did. He was a full expression of divinity in a human body. So depending on what your goal is, and sometimes it's unconscious. If you have not made that goal consciously, then it's unconscious. So maybe when you look at your life, and this is where reevaluation happens, if you look at your life, what do you think you have been operating your life for? Have you been out for sensual pleasure? Have you been out for material acquisition? Have you been out for service? Have you been out for, what is it? Because that goal is the one that guides the rest of your life. And for me, I have come to that crystallization that I want to use my life for my spiritual advancement. So I want to use my life to uncover and to peel off layers until I find my true essence. And they say that in spiritual terms, God realization. I want to use my life for God realization because I believe that's the highest goal that you can use your life for. And because of that, now coming back to how to realign myself, now that changes my order of priorities. That changes why I do what I do. That changes how I interpret situations in my life, because I believe my life has been engineered and divinely structured for that purpose. So what I experience, I see it as part of the curriculum. I see it as a resource. You know, like the way people come for coaching class and you give them, read this book, you know, go to this person, click on this link, resources, hapo chini. My life experiences are my resources. And so I am always looking out for, why is this thing happening? How is it advancing me spiritually? When I come to a difficult place and I have to make a decision, I'm like, what decision will advance me? What decision will allow me to uncover more, to peel off the layers of limitations and fears? And so I have been finding myself going in the direction of where I would be running away from. So I've been going towards difficult conversations. I've been going towards difficult decisions. I've been going towards, those boundaries that we set ourselves and surround. We put an electric fence of fear around our comfort zone so that when you reach there, you touch it, you're electrocuted by the fear, you stay back. Me, I've been going past there because of that one goal. So the goal, and as you evaluate what is important for you and what your life is for, it helps you align yourself. It helps you realign and reprioritize things. And it also helps you reorder your thoughts and see what is important. What do I need to learn? What do I need to discard? What do I need to unlearn? What do I need to let go? What do I need to just stop altogether, as a way of aligning yourself towards the goal? And you said something very important that will push us to the next step. And I see you, Pamela Munyi. Oh, Pamela, nice to see you. Welcome. She says this season of God's move requires us to totally yield to his will in our lives. That's very true. Lynn Guandaro, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So Jeff, you said something about manifesting something that already is in another dimension into this reality. I believe that every kind or every flavor or every quality of alignment leads to a certain creation. If you reorder your priorities a certain way, you will create your life a certain way. And I see a lot of people wanting their life to change, but not wanting to realign their life, and not wanting to change themselves, but they want circumstances to change. And I see a lot of them, in fact, most of the people who come for coaching, initially, that's what they want. Initially, they are thinking, I need my circumstances to change, and I'll be good, and I'll be happy. But when you start conversations and it starts hitting them that they are the ones to change so that their creation can change, then it becomes a whole different ball game. So Jeff, tell us about creating. Creating, according to the dictionary, is bringing something into existence. And I believe everything so bringing something in existence doesn't mean it does not exist, because you cannot create energy you cannot destroy it. So when we are talking about existence, it's in existence in this dimension. So how do you bring things from this other place, from where they exist, into this reality?
Yeah, well, Carol, the first thing is to get to that dimension. You got to get to the dimension of aligning yourself with God, with the creator of all, the creative force, and that is within you, in your heart. God is not so far from you, and that ability to create is already in you. Everything you need has been given to you. Everything you need for life and righteousness is within you. But then because we are coming most of the time from poverty mindset, we are always going back to God to beg Him to give us more.
Mm.
And, you know, Peter tells you that you already have everything you need.
Yeah.
Like God has given you everything. And people look around and you're like, oh, some people look like they are favored by God. It's like things are working for them. Everything just works for them. And you want to be like those people that everything works for them. Maybe you've tried this career, you tried this one, and things are not working for you. You don't know, and you're trying to even drive people, get your way through that because you're fixing the external existence. You're fixing the outer world. You want to fix everything. I'm telling you this. The victory is that inner alignment. Come from that place of seeing yourself as a creator and seeing yourself as a vessel that God is using. Because God is spirit, and in the spirit world, the spirit needs a body here on the planet. There's no spirit that has a right to exist here without a body. So God will use you. Are you a vessel? Are you available to be used of God? And then, so can you see yourself as a vessel, as a servant? Because that's an identity. And from there, what would you like to create? You can listen to your heart, listen to what God is inspiring you, because you can be inspired to be, to do, to have. Anything you're going to do out of inspiration, anything you do for God will last forever. Anything you do for God will last forever. And who wants to do something that after 10 years, no one knows about your existence. No one knows you ever took part in any form of work that you lived for. And so that's what I started by saying we are creating from the place of the soul, or you're not creating in alignment with your truth, with the truth of who you are. Because the truth is you're a spiritual person. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a responsibility to create what you want. And Carol, the breaking news is that the life I'm living today, the life you're living today, is the life you have created.
Hallelujah.
It's the life you have created. You cannot blame God and say, oh, God brought me this person, God gave me this job, the Lord took me here. As I tell people, I was speaking, to some young people who are planning to get married. I say, please don't blame God. When things go, look at the pastor, feel, how does it feel? Is this what you are choosing? So someone in the team will say, if the Lord has chosen for me, who am I? Hey, my friend. When things go south is when you know, actually, that God has given you that free will to choose. But when you're in alignment with God, you can actually choose that thing that is in your highest service and that will serve the good of everyone. Life is beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. And creation is really like, it's like, because that thing that we're bringing here is already created. It is created by God. And you
Yes.
just manage to tap into it with your mind. So as you go up higher vibrationally, as you become more open, to who you are, you start to align yourself with a certain frequency, and in that frequency you start tapping into certain ideas and certain perspectives that were already there. It's you who had not gotten there. So that is how you become a channel, because you become an open channel to bring that which is not into being. And so the job that you have to do is to become that clear and open channel. And that's all this life is about. That's all your experience is about. And that's all your dreams and desires are trying to get you at. They're trying to get you to be open. They're trying to get you to be willing, and they're trying to allow you to become capable of handling that which wants to come forth through you. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I thought, you see how, because I have studied a lot of successful people, and I have seen a certain trend with these people, and sometimes it doesn't look like it's related to their success, but if you watch a couple of successful people enough times, you will notice this trend. So these people have certain exercise regimens, these people have certain dietary plans, these people have certain daily routines. And I was cracking my head and I'm thinking, what is the common denominator between this? Like, what is this about this thing that they do, or this way that they are being, that is connected to their success? Because they are spread across different what do I say, spheres, different industries, different there are different people in different parts of the world. And you know what I realized? It was a breakthrough for me yesterday, and I realized, wait a minute, these people are creating their bodies, are tuning their bodies as instruments. So the way you would tune a piano or a guitar to sound a certain way. So this energy that they are allowing to come in, they are preparing their body, because your body is hardware. If you have a certain hardware, a certain computer from the 90s, it will not accept software for 2022. And the verse that got me there was this verse that says you cannot put new wine in old wineskin. And I was like, it's also about our bodies. Sometimes the reason why you're not achieving your goals is because you're not willing to change your habits, your eating habits, your exercise habits, like, because you not only have to tune your mind, but even your body has to be equipped to handle this high frequency, because it's like a computer, it's gonna blow if you don't prepare it. Because some of these ideas, some of these perspectives are high electric energy in your brain. So if you're not eating well in the kind of food that allows your brain to shoot those neurons in the way they need to shoot, you're gonna get fried. And sometimes that energy is there waiting for your body to be ready, waiting for your mind to be ready, so that you can download some of the amazing ideas that you need to allow. So I think one of the first steps to creating is recreating yourself. Recreating yourself. I watched your role model, Tony Robbins, and I love this line that he said. Oh my God, that's like a line that gives me goosebumps. He said in his documentary, "I'm Not Your Guru," he said, "I created this fucking guy." I was like, that's it. That's it. Because had he not recreated himself, he would not have created what he created. He needed to become Tony Robbins so that Tony Robbins can now create whatever he has created. And sometimes you have this dream hovering above your head, this vision hovering above your head. It's ready and it's ripe, but you do not want to be a different person that you have always been. You're sitting there thinking, I'm a procrastinator. I love this. I cannot do away with meat. I cannot stop. I'm not a morning person. All these things that create this identity that you are the ones that are stopping you. So can you first think about how are you going to recreate yourself for 2022? Who is stepping into 2023?
Yeah.
Because the who that is stepping into 2023 is the who that will create your life, and you're going to experience the consequence of their thoughts, the consequence of their ideas. And sometimes because of our what is the word, we are very stiff, we are not rigid, we don't want to expand our identity.
Yeah.
And because of that, we cannot receive certain perspectives, certain ideas, certain thoughts, and we cannot make certain connections just because of who we have thought ourselves to be. So that's the first thing that needs to be created, the container, so that all this energy that you need for your dream to actualize and manifest can have a place to fit in, can have a mind that is ready to contain it. And I always tell my clients that if you want to recreate yourself, you must be willing to go beyond the boundaries of who you have thought yourself to be. Start doing things that you don't usually do. Some people say, I don't love movies. This is the year to go for movies. Go for movies, and so that you can start adding into your bank of experiences other experiences that can expand your identity. What do you say about that, Coach Jeff?
Yes, definitely. The biggest responsibility that we have as human beings is really what you said, is to expand our identity, because you can never manifest anything different than, from who you are. In this life, you don't get what you want. You get who you are. So it's not about how much you beg God. The thing is about how much you align with yourself. You align yourself with that which you desire, with that, including your spiritual experience. And so most people work on changing their external world rather than changing that inner identity. Again, Tony Robbins says this: we human beings, the most powerful force on the planet, is this need in all of us to remain consistent with how we define ourselves. So we have a human need to stay consistent. And the reason he says this is this, okay, if you understand how the mind works. The mind works to make sure that it remains consistent with what is familiar to it. That your mind is created to keep you in the familiar zone. And that's why you need to expand and do something or recreate yourself. There's this guy who said that you cannot create a new life from the same mind that created the old one. Okay?
Yeah, Albert Einstein.
Yes, you cannot create. So we got to change. We got to change. As a man thinketh, so is she. Yeah, so is she. As a man thinketh, so is she. Because you're creating from who you are. It doesn't matter how much you cry. It doesn't matter how much you want that thing. As long as you've not shifted your inner state of being, it will not come to you. That's why someone told me, Jeff, money sees me and it takes a corner. Money sees me and it doesn't want to see me.
Yeah.
Okay, why is money running away from you? There are people money doesn't want to see. There are people money is knocking their door and say, hello.
Please let me in.
Let me in. I mean, people are sending even money that they just miss a number and they send it to you because money is just coming to you. Money is just coming to you. Oh my God. Get in that energy, get in that vibration. But if you're in this vibration of seeing that money, if you have money, you're going to be evil because you are brought up in an environment where people that had money were evil, and the only people you know that have money are evil people, then you are the example of how you can have money and be good.
Yeah.
Because in this life, you can be two things. You can either be a warning or you can be an example. You're either a warning, please, people, don't be like him, or you're an example of, how can, everyone wants to be like you because you live. In fact, if you leave that as your mission, how about this year? He said, and I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just suggesting something you can do, whatever you want to do. This is your life. How about this 1 year, you make a decision, a standard to live your life as a witness of what it means to be abundant, or what it means to live the best life experience. How about that? How about, because that's a standard, okay? But standard is created by identity. What your self-identity, how you see yourself creates a standard, okay?
Yeah.
And you have different variations of identity within you. You know that? Sometimes there's part of you that is lazy. There's another part of you that is the warrior. There's another part of you that is the lover. There's another part of you that is the king, the queen. Now, you're the one that gives any of these parts of you permission to live your life. Which part are you honoring this year? Which part are you giving the baton? Because if all these years you've been driven by the victim stuff, by the part of you that is looks at life as this is happening to you. This is all that has driven you, of finding fault, or always resisting. You're always resisting, always looking for what's wrong. Then you need to change that identity. Put another part of you in charge of your life. Activate the warrior. Unleash the warrior. Some of us need to activate the lover. Maybe you need to activate the lover to find yourself, connect with that deep part of you that is truly loving of you, of God, of people around you. Some of us don't know how to love and how to be loved because you activated your lover. You're not focused on that. All these forms an identity. The person become, and that's really crucial.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jeff, because that's really important for people to understand that we are multifaceted. We have different identities within us, and every identity is waiting for you to call upon it, both negative and positive, by the way. They are not just one side, it's a whole spectrum. And whoever you call upon mostly guides your life and determines the quality of your life. So the call for me now is for you to be conscious be conscious when you're called upon to make a decision or to take an action. Be conscious of who has shown up, so that if they are not the ones that you need to show up, then tell them to step back and activate whoever it is that you want.
And some of them, Carol, Carol, some of the identities you need to step into your head and tell it to shut up. Because it's not serving your current self right now. But it's insisting to rule you. It's insisting to rule your life. Every time you show up, that identity that moves to the front seat. No. You need to tell it, step back. Just a minute ago, when I was a teenager, I was keeping. I was, in fact, people used to call me the shy boy. That's an identity. I used to show up as the shy boy. My form one, I used to take the back seat because I was the shy boy. What does the shy boy do? Hide. What does the shy boy do? The shy boy has no place on the planet. He just takes the place is left out. when everyone else has seated. And so,
Space left at
he
all.
left. If there's any left, let me tell you, when I was in Form 2, I remember as though it was yesterday, I made a decision that I am a leader. I remember my dad bought me that Ben Carson book, and I saw the way the guy came from nothing to prominence as world-class doctor. And by the way, to come think about it, this is my turnaround. This is the greatest breakthrough of my life. When I made the decision, I am a leader in this house. That year, in the second Form 2, I became the class rep. Today, you go to my high school, my name is there as one of the celebrated school captains that actually, before I came to the leadership, the school had been banned twice. You know, those days people used students were dying. And a decision I made some 2 years ago in Form 2, people saw leader in me, not because this is the way, you know, I'm different from everyone else. I decided, I made a decision. If I never made that decision in Form 2, I don't think I'll be the coach I am today. I don't think I've taken the bold, you know, decisions that I've taken in my life and business so far. It's because I own this identity of being a leader. And this is what I bring. In the difficult times, I remember who I am. When life hits me hard, I remember who I am. And when I find myself in the valley, I just know that I've forgotten who I am. Nothing is wrong with me apart from my own perspective of my identity. The moment I reclaim my identity, I become unstoppable. I say I'm a leader. I am a force for God. I'm a force for good. In fact, I see it in my nerves. I can feel it. This is like the born side of me.
You're disappearing.
Yeah.
Something is happening to the audio. It's crackling.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Let me change the audio. Just check it up. Let me check the audio.
It has some noise.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. Yes, that's my Bluetooth. It was not Bluetooth. It's not connected. So you know, we are talking about changing identity here, and my greatest prayer is for humanity to realize how powerful what you are talking about is here. That the power is in your decision. It's not that God has left you, or God is not for you, or God has forgotten your address. No. It's actually you that God is waiting on to come to that place of decision. Who do you want to become? Who are you becoming? Because when you look at your results, when you look at what you've been able to accomplish this year and how you've been able to experience this year, it's actually a result of your identity, the person you are. So the question at this point, the 21st of December 2022, who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? That's our choice. No one can make that choice for us. And if this year you show up a certain way, that is the way life will treat you. Life will make way for you. Life will lead to the level of your identity. Back to you, Carol.
Thank you so much, Coach Jeff. And as you were speaking, I was just thinking about what we were talking about. You mentioned free will earlier in our conversation. I think that's the sphere of free will. The free will is not on the level of should I do this or should I do that. The true playing field of the free will is who do I decide? I get to decide that. And
Yes.
that's the place I'm playing out my free will at. And so I want to call all of you who are watching this now or in the future to make a decision. Who am I showing up as in 2023? Because that will determine what you create. God created because he's God. God created because God.
Yes.
You are
I like
going
that.
to create the life that you want because of who you are. Who you are will determine your creation. And I want you to see the impact of identity. And I love that you started this conversation with I am, because that's what identity is. If you look at the Garden of Eden, God knew Adam and Eve had done something because of how they identified themselves. He was like visiting them in the evening as Pakawa.
Yeah.
And he's like, where are you guys? Why
They're
are you
hiding.
hiding? And what did they say? We are naked.
Yeah.
So when you embody an identity, automatically your life changes to align itself to that identity. So
That's
those
right.
of you who are saying, I'm shy, I am weak, I am sick,
I'm poor.
I am inadequate, whatever it is, and you're the one who knows what I am you've been tagging yourself with, because sometimes these I ams we don't tell to people. Out there we are showing up in this mask, but then inside there's an I am we are being, and that I am we are defending it. I've seen clients defending their identity in the session completely, blocking their transformation because they will not change how they see themselves, how they define themselves. So my call, and this is my wrapping up, before I give Coach Jeff to wrap up, the call is really your identity. How do you define yourself? It's a decision, by the way. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. It doesn't matter what you don't have. It doesn't matter what people say. It does not matter. All that matters is your decision. So who are you deciding to be in 2023? Shift that and the rest of your life will shift. I'm a witness. Jeff, any last words to our viewers?
Well, thank you so much, Carol. And what I can say is this: it's all in your hands. Your destiny is in your hands. And it's not about where you've been in your past, because that's not where you're going. It's about right here, this moment, you can make a decision that will change the rest of your life. And like Coach Carol said, it comes back to a few decisions that actually change, anchor you into your destiny. Who do you decide to be? What is your biggest focus this year? What is it going to be? What is the biggest focus? And it's going to be determined by the first decision, who you're going to be. What is the quality of your emotional state? Like, you can decide right now where you're going to live next year. Not in terms of location, but in terms of alignment of your emotional state. Because you can never have a different experience from how you're feeling inside. So that's a decision you'll have to make. What is my emotional home? What are the emotions that I want to feel most of the time? Then make it happen. Now make sure that you find an inner circle of people you can connect with. One of the greatest decisions you can make is on who influences you. Connect with inner circle of people that influence you. No one is an island. Okay, so connect with people that influence you, that are high quality people. That you cannot choose your family. Some of us wish we could, but we can't. Your family is your family. But you can choose, the core people that influence you, because Jim Rohn The mentor to Tony Robbins said this: you are the average of the 5 people that are in your inner circle. You are the average of the 5 people that are in your inner circle. This year, please reach out to people, connect to people that can impact you positively and also contribute to them. Otherwise, Merry Christmas to everyone. God's blessing. You're not here because God forgot to call you home. No, you're here because there's a purpose for you. This year is not a mistake. This year is a chapter in your life, is a clean slate, and there's a pen with ink on your hand that you got to write on this page. What are you going to write? You can write anything. What are you going to write? It's all in your hands, and we are rooting for you. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Jeff. Thank you. It's been such an exciting opportunity to just have this conversation with you. As I mentioned to you, I just love having these conversations, and for today I decided let's make our conversation public. So these are the kind of conversations we have, and you know, I thank God that I aligned myself with you, because you have been such a big impact in my life. So to guys who are watching, align yourself with people. You don't have to know them personally. You can align yourself to the people that are on your social media. Curate your social media so that you're getting live feeds, and you know, your news thread is flowing with things that are encouraging you and empowering you and helping you expand your identity to the highest possible one, so that you can create the life that you really deserve and the one that you desire. So, you know, you can follow Coach Jeff Nthiwa on his profile. He's there. And you can also comment on these and share your experience. Just how was your experience in this conversation? And what are some of the things that you feel you would need us to talk about? Maybe we are going to have another conversation. Who knows, maybe. And yeah, keep doing you. Be the best you that you can possibly be at any given time. Enjoy this holiday, make it joyful. Don't use these family dramas as a reason for you to bring your vibes down. Be happy. Be the one who takes your light there, even if it's dark. You know, enjoy life and just look forward to 2023 and have an amazing, amazing life ahead. So thank you all very much for joining us. Share this if it has served you, and have a good night. Bye, Coach Jeff. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night. Bye-bye.